Everybody, welcome to this Link to the Past All Dungeons tournament match, loser bracket round 4 between Doomtap and Chexhuman. Our commentators today are Anders and Dow. How are you guys?
Doing pretty well. How are you doing?
I'm great.
Doing well myself too.
Heck yeah. We've got a really good run for you guys today. We have, and they're starting and they're off. We have Doomtap versus Chexhuman. Chex seem to have set Doom's name to Ganon, while Doom set Chex's name to C. I'm sure there's a good reason for that.
I'm sure the reason is not people have just run out of ideas being this late into the tournament. What file name should be.
Yeah. So this should be a really fun match. I mean, both are really experienced players who have some pretty different backgrounds. I mean, though both have run a bunch of different categories and they are both very experienced with a bunch of different things. So it should be a lot of fun gameplay today. Yeah. How you doing today, Dow? Tell me, what was for dinner on this wonderful National Crepe Suzette Day?
I haven't eaten dinner actually, because I was just doing something that I thought was going to take 2 hours and ended up taking almost 4. So, that's life.
That's fine. VXR, I'm going to recommend you look into some Crepe Suzette and just love your life.
But yeah, early on here, not going to be anything too interesting, especially between two extremely good runners like this. Honestly, the first 10.5 minutes or so, we're probably going to see a separation of less than 10 seconds unless something extremely bad happens. So it's just kind of like Link's walking, he's hitting the right enemies, and yeah, it's really all there is to say early on in this run.
Yeah, I mean, you said it all, I guess, Dow. So I can just muse for a while. We all know I know how to fill dead air. It's kind of my job here. So I'll tell you guys that I've got a pretty fun Zelda trivia question ready for you guys once we hit Thieves Town. So be on the lookout for that. Doom, unfortunately, will not be able to scream Apple Farmer, hopefully.
That was my guess.
Ooh, a nice steak serious. How do you like your steak cooked, Dow? This is a game breaker question.
Medium rare.
Okay, I will stay in the voice call. You have passed. Yes, serious. There's medium rare and then there's wrong. So we see here both our runners, who I believe are both medium rare boys too. I think I've asked them, that have defeated the ball and chain guard, heading up and out. Say Princess Zelda. The game's only about 6 minutes long. How many times am I going to make that joke before someone laughs at it?
I'm laughing right now.
Yeah, but you're laughing at me making fun of the fact that no one laughs at it.
No, I'm laughing because that's also my joke.
Heck yeah. Hope everyone is saying stay. I'm gonna try that again. I hope everyone's saying. Dang! Come on! I hope everyone's staying safe and sane. Apparently, I'm not. I'm going a little cuckoo. Just a little cuckoo. But stay safe, friends. We live in a Link society over here, so.
Yeah. Like I said, not too much going on. Not that it's not interesting from like a frame sitting
totally
perspective.
interesting.
But like,
I can tell you guys a little bit more about the history of our two runners. We have Chexhuman, who, as I mentioned, is kind of a glitching king. He has a lot of history with certain randos. Was the semifinal, well, runner-up in the Overworld Glitched tournament last year. You might have seen him here on ZSR. Doomtap, a top runner in quite a few categories. Affectionately named Jort's King Lobsterkiller. He wears a lot of jorts and he kills a lot of lobsters. But he also plays this game really, really, really well. So my day bed sores was pretty good. I did a lot of packing. I move in 2 days. It's gonna be a thing.
exciting.
Yeah.
Favorite steak seasoning? I don't know. I don't eat steak too often. Couldn't tell you what's good. But yeah, like even though both runners here kind of took, separate beatings and had separate RMGs and everything else.
Just puppy boys.
Just kind of messed up the switch a little bit there, but it's only a couple seconds between them at the end of Escape. And Doom gets rat frames, which is going to save him about 3/4 of a second going into this next split. Pretty good stuff. We actually really do care about that 3/4 of a second. And it's time to basically farm golds in this split. So we might see Doomtap go for something really aggressive here, or maybe since it's a race, he'll give up and just kind of do regular strats, take it safe, nice and easy.
Absolutely. We will see. I know typically Chex does not go for the citrus during tournament runs, but I believe Doomtap does. So we're in a position where
right now.
Oh, well, that will explain it. I am psychic. With a very solid citrus.
Boom citrus, which is actually no different than sword clip or sword buffer citrus. Takes exactly the same amount of frames. But I guess he just wanted to press a different button, so good on him.
This tournament's been going on for a while. We just need a little bit of something to shake it up a little bit. A little boom here and there, a little memery.
Yeah, it's hard to keep. Well, from my perspective, this category is super fun, but it wasn't fun to grind. So, like, as we get further on in the tournament, I feel like we might be seeing just like a little bit more frustrations out of the runners and stuff because of how punishing and how annoying this category can be.
So, sidebar story. I used to have a mentor who was horrible at cooking steak. And generally everything, because his method was nutmeg. I like nutmeg. Nutmeg is good in things, so I'll put nutmeg on my steak.
Interesting.
What else do I like? Soy sauce. Let's marinate this nutmeg steak in soy sauce. I mean, absolutely disgusting.
That doesn't sound good at all. That sounds real bad.
Yeah, he's not my mentor anymore.
Good call. Good call. But yeah, Eastern here. We've picked up the bow. Yeah, it's kind of sort of not the only thing we need in this dungeon. We actually do really want the green pendant that we're going to grab at the end of it. The pendant of don't remember which one it is. Anders, do you know which one it is? I can't.
I'm
Is this
sorry.
courage? Is this the pendant of courage?
This is courage, I believe.
Okay. So, after beating this and getting the pendant of courage, we're actually going to be able to run really fast so we can run away from all of our problems.
Courage makes you run away. You heard it
not
here.
running them. And actually, one thing that we are worried about here is arrow count, which does not get a drop.
Not getting
Pretty
a drop.
unfortunate.
Yeah,
Doomtap
so he's
is
going to probably have to pick up.
He will need to pick up some in the next split. Doomtap is leaving with the maximum number of arrows here, so he's in great shape going forward.
Chex puts one in the wall. Nothing wrong with that.
I mean, he has to get backups anyway, right? What does it matter if he throws away one arrow?
Oh, I just like the one in the wall. It's like, haha, take that, dungeon. And now we're going to hang out with to get the boots to allow us to go fast and make this a speed run.
And in the vein of running away from all of our problems, we're also going to grab some bombs here, which lets us blow ourselves up, which
we do fairly often. You know,
when
you really look at it, Link is kind of the antagonist. He blows things up. He has no respect for interior design. He just runs around with a sword out in front of him. He doesn't even care about walls. Let's see how Doomtap does here with this DMA. See, what are walls? What is anything? Nothing matters to Link. He is a... I have yet to see a chest turn. I would like to mention again, as I do, that this is a winner-takes-all match. The loser of this match will go on to do whatever they want that may or may not be.
I believe this match is the round of 12, so losing here places you 9th through 12th in the tournament, and advancing gets you up into that 7-8 round.
Yeah, oof. The winner of this will go up against the winner of Zelda versus Josh RTA, which you guys can find on one of the ZSR channels on Saturday at 9:01 a.m. Possibly. Who knows? You'll have to stick around and... Check's having a little trouble because of these boulder boys.
This is actually okay. Doom also messes up a little bit there, but this is one reason why this is a frustrating category, because a lot of what we do relies on spin speed here, and spin speed is a frame perfect trick.
Haha, it's rubbing off on you.
And we can see, like, getting beat up by mini Moldorms loses a ton of time. Messing up spin speeds loses a ton of time. Neither of these things are things that, like, are fully in your control. You can get pretty good at spin speeds, but, like, it's still never going to be 100%. And then once you've messed it up once, it kind of gets in your head a little bit. And then you have boulders raining on your face, and you're trying to stay calm and do this frame perfect trick while boulders are raining on your face. Not easy.
Dow, have you ever seen Avatar: The Last Airbender?
No.
There's a very important character in it called the Cabbage Vendor. And he reminds me a lot of these boulders. Because the boulders are like cabbages. And he screams, "My cabbages!" For inquiries on casting me in your voice acting projects and paying me real person money, my DMs are open. Also, if you're single, attractive, and ready to mingle, my DMs are also open. Please attach a headshot, cover letter, and resume. And an explanation as to why I should date you.
But yeah, this section right here is we're past the first hard part of pod, and this like middle section, you're like, oh, it's not too bad. Health management is still pretty important here. Chex is actually can't afford to take a hit because we're going to intentionally blow ourselves up again for the second time this race. And then we really want to have full health going into the very back here, because the boss of this dungeon, Helma's Working, is one of the worst bosses in the game. So we're going to take a look at these hammer jumps.
Yeah. Looks good
Really
on
nice.
Chex's side. Looks good on Doom's side. I've said this before, and I'll say it again because I'm basically a broken record. I don't feel like the run really starts until Palace of Darkness is complete. I definitely feel like if we took account of what the reset points are, this is probably one of the biggest heavy points in the run.
Oh, no doubt. I guarantee you, if you looked at every runner of this category, you check their split, what do you call it? Reset rate, it's probably like close to half of everybody's resets. This split is just absolutely brutal.
Yeah, we're gonna need Doom to breathe heavily on his camera and just wipe it off with a nice clean cloth. It's a little blurry.
Well, he might need to get more than, 2 bytes per second upload speed to actually help out there. But
I think when you really think about it, considering this tournament, this is really the battle of the two people who've had the most tech issues, only to be outdone by Clan. Vetman, unfortunately, as is noted by the 3-digit rupee counter, this is not random.
aside from player RMG, which is a very real thing,
Yeah, Chex
And-
has had some very scary
Enemy
helmet
RMG.
fights. Personally. Whereas Doom, I feel like, is slightly more consistent with his Helma fights.
pretty good
Yep,
fight from
and that's-
Doom.
And
Chex it
actually
out.
a very nice fight from Chex. Same. The OK Boomer strat has really, for Aime, been catching on recently.
It didn't get found. Well, actually, I think it's in the tutorial, isn't it? But it didn't really catch on until maybe about 6 weeks ago or so. Right around the start of the tourney. It still kind of depends on the runner. It's so the hammer one peg actually has a frame rule, which means that there's a little bit of RNG as to whether or not it'll actually work. And so if you hammer both pegs, you actually eliminate the frame rule and you are guaranteed to get it every time. So that's kind of the goal of that strat, is to reduce the RNG of the game. So now we're heading into Tower of Hera here. It's at the top of the mountain. We're just going to jump down and go into it instead, because bottom, top, doesn't matter. We're walking through walls.
This is a Dow-only trivia question. Dow, we're in Tower of Hera. What pendant do we get?
Well, let's see. It's courage, wisdom, and power. Pretty sure this one's power, right? Because the only wisdom you'd find from Hera is don't go up there. It's a mess.
This is pendant of wisdom. Red is pendant of wisdom.
Goodness. Well,
Chex got trying to get into this auto scroller room. Doom's taking a little coffee break. Chex tried it, didn't work out well. But yeah, you were wrong. No, red is wisdom. I promise you, it's the weirdest thing in this game.
I'm gonna have to look this up now.
Blue is power.
Who designed these colors? You know, that doesn't make any sense.
Trust
According
me,
to
I know.
Zelda Dungeon, it is the pendant of wisdom. I never would have guessed.
Chex taking that safety switch, which is a good move. Let's see how Doom does with this boom jump. And he does it way.
Chex's health is a little bit low. Being on 1 heart's a little bit scary. Being on 3, like Doom is, not in the slightest.
Being on 0, you're already dead.
Very true.
Yeah. Apathy,
Despite
have you been
being
paying attention at all?
So it's generally pretty easy, as long as Moldorm doesn't bully you too bad. Nice menu buffer from Chex to kind of read the RMG a little bit better. Okay, so great. They both got a little bit bullied in this dungeon. That's pretty much what you expect with this dungeon. It's the worst. But they're both out of it, which is awesome.
Now we're gonna head towards Thieves Town, which means we gotta get ready for our Zelda trivia question, which you will get as soon as the first runner rescues a maiden.
But yeah, not Hera. Thieves, we're actually wanting to get into Dark World here. The only Dark World portal we have access to is on top of the mountain there. It doesn't actually lead into Dark World kind of main area. So we just jump down the mountain. Sure, walls are kind of a suggestion in this category. A small suggestion.
Yoho is correct. Chex is doing swordless RBO right now. So if you're interested, Fraime, I would reach out to him. Fun other fact. Actually, you know what? We'll just see how this goes. Hey, Dow, I've got a trivia question for you.
Is this a Dow only trivia question?
Dow only, Dow approved.
Okay.
These Zazik enemies, what animal are they based on?
I mean, everybody calls them horse heads. They don't look like horses to me. I don't know.
Is that your final answer?
I mean, I guess.
They are lizards, not horses.
Well, nobody calls them lizard heads, so...
You're correct.
Look, I just push the buttons and sometimes explain what goes on in this game. I have no idea.
You're very good at it. I am good at asking dumb stuff. So... Oh, Check's doing a bonk. And Doom getting a really nice... Hackway. Chex having to adjust quite a bit, unfortunately. And now, like I said, both runners are going to destroy a building with bombs.
Well, at least the inside of it. I think it's still going to be standing at the end of this.
Do you ever wonder what this building would actually look like if you put it all together? Someone do that in like Minecraft or something.
See, I'm a little bit confused by the structure of this building because it has an upstairs, right? But when we're outside, there's clearly no upstairs. There's clearly no upstairs.
Goodness.
I don't understand the layout of this dungeon.
Oh gosh, I think we just like broke the matrix. The feds are coming for you, dude. Ooh, Chex misses the red Stalfos. That's so sad. But since Doomtap has collected the maiden, let me read you guys a Zelda trivia. I will read the question twice, and then you have until sword up on either runner. The first runner to Trading quests have been a mainstay in Zelda games since first appearing in 1993's Link's Awakening. What was the item that begins the trading sequence in its initial appearance? Trading quests have been a mainstay in Zelda games since first appearing in 1993's Link's Awakening. What was the item that begins the trading sequence in the initial appearance?
Is it the Yoshi doll?
Dude, that was correct. It's the Yoshi doll. By the way, blind is a scripted fight. Dow, you win the prize of 2 whole cool points and your first trivia question that you've gotten right today.
See, my second guess was going to be Apple Farmer.
Both having some pretty solid blind fight. If you have a trivia question you'd like to see during the AD RMG race that relates to Zelda, the video game, any of them, you can feel free to DM me along with your headshot and resume and reason why you want to date me.
Well, okay. So the interesting part about this run to me always is that like we have kind of pretty big set of glitches to get into pod, and then really we don't do too much here for Thieves Town and Skullwoods. The interesting part about Skullwoods here is that we are going to pick up a book which has potential for soft locks, hard locks, whatever they are, some kind of locks. Not that we expect it, it's pretty safe overall, but it can happen.
And it has happened.
It has happened. Yeah, overall, this dungeon, pretty straightforward. And hard lock there, or soft lock, or whatever kind of lock it is, you have to actually get a frame perfect button press, which is, you know, harder than it seems.
Frog door percent incoming.
But yeah, so we are picking up the Tempered Sword here. We currently have only the little baby sword. It is not very strong. You'll notice most of the enemies in Thieves Town didn't really die, which is pretty unfortunate because they're in our way. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to pick up a sword so that we can kill all of the enemies in Dark World, because that's how we're going to solve all of our problems, is by killing things. After we run away, of course, with our friendly boots. All right, Doomtap bails out a fence dash, even though he didn't look like he was going to get it. How do you feel about that, Anders?
I mean, that's really going to cost him some time. He's going to need to do quite a few chest turns. And you see, look at that. He got a skull bush for missing it. So I mean, he's already paid.
Oh, and
Chex gets the fence dash, so obviously he's ahead.
Stopping for no dashes in this room. That's probably a good. I mean, I think dashing there is a few frames faster, but it's
also gets a skull bush. Wow, I think this is cursed.
Yeah, skull bushes are actually kind of likely in this category. They're most likely in that set of bushes right there. And if you don't get them there, then you could get them in this Skullwood section, which is actually kind of really bad. Because then you bonk, and then Ropas are jumping at you, and so we don't want that.
Ropas are mean. Oh, Check's getting handed.
He was just trying to farm the arrow drop. That's all it was.
Oh, that's what it was. I knew it. The false prophet, stuck mummy. Ooh, Doom taking quite a bit of damage, opting to bonk out of that room to save himself from having to go any lower. Probably a smart move on.
Well, this is the kind of thing. Yeah, bonking in this overworld. Chex only gets hit once there, but it can get very bad very fast. So good on Chex for, not panicking and getting out of it. So kind of the name of the game a lot of times in this, not just this category, but for this whole game, which is like when you make a mistake, because you will, can you just relax and keep it going?
That kind of explains a lot, because usually my gameplay, I panic and cry. So I guess I've been doing it wrong.
It's not exactly the most productive way to achieve our goal of entering the Triforce room as fast as possible by completing all of the dungeons. So...
Wait, is this ADRMG?
I believe it is. I sure hope it is. Because if it's not, we might have to forfeit both of these runners. That was a pretty solid moth fight there from Doom.
Yeah, really, really very nice. The bug was kind. Time for some get-to-know-you games in case you guys wanted to be more interested in one of these runners than us. Doomtap, in addition to being a lobster killer and jorts lover, does not like showing his feet on a camera. He also is not a big fan of lobsters, and that's not just because he enjoys killing them.
Solid fight from Chex there. Not perfect, but, when you have kind of a pretty rough split like there, you're just happy to get out of it. Well, I won't put words in Check's mouth, but that's how I feel.
I like how I said this vulgar, horrible stuff, and you were just like, I'm going to focus on the game, as if we're supposed to be commentating or something.
That was one of the fastest clips I've ever seen on Doom's side. That was excellent.
Yeah, he's been working. Doom has been grinding some categories recently. If I'm correct, he recently dethroned you in low percent legacy.
Yeah, he's gonna make me play that category again.
A little frustration there, Dow. Just a little.
Well,
bitterness.
Doom will tell you the same thing I'll tell you about RPBs. They're not good. It's just a matter of being willing to kind of push through this game when stuff like this happens, where dead rocks just get in front of you and ruin your life.
Gosh, I remember. I actually think it was Chex earlier in this tournament who had the most ridiculous Dead Rock setting in this split, where it went in front of the bridge, like in front of the hole of the bridge. So he had to go back and despawn it. And when he came back on the other side of the bridge, it was standing like in that little hole to exit this screen.
Dude, whoever designed Dead Rocks is a cruel individual.
They make your sub emote very, very understandable. Subs to DowTMB on Twitch.tv.
Yeah, and Check showing that not every clip has to be a spin speed clip. Also getting sniped by the Zoras, which is awful. You know, I don't understand. Sometimes they shoot at you. Sometimes they shoot at where you're going to be in, 15 seconds. And can't quite figure out how they...
Yeah, they're not very nice. You know what else isn't nice? How much Doom is getting bullied right there.
Yeah, this
He
is...
dashes and a cow guard appears. The bomber gets him. He lands on another guard. Woof.
It's brutal. That screen, whole screen is just like...
This overworld is very tough.
Yeah. We've like looked into ways to not have to do this screen because it's just bad. But here we are. Still doing it because we couldn't figure out anything else.
Check's having a little less bullying. It might allow him to catch up a second or two.
Yeah, so I mentioned that early on, we kind of don't have too many glitches. Pretty much from here on out to the rest of the run, it's pretty glitch heavy. It's going to be pretty different from what you might see in like a no major glitches category of this game. Really, we're kind of just going to be jumping around Dark World, going over mountains, under mountains, who knows. Ended up in the wrong spot, all kinds of shenanigans. And yeah, so stay tuned for the back half of this run, which is absolutely brutal, both to like in terms of playing and in terms of understanding what's going on. We're entering the boss here on Doom side. Lamolas are pretty annoying, but we're really strong right now. Our goal is to use 5 fire rod shots and 1 spin from the Tempered Sword to defeat all 3 Lamolas before they re-enter the ground. Kind of depends on the RNG they give us, but it is definitely feasible. Excellent job from Doom there. Same on Chex's side here. We see a great 1 cycle.
Very nice.
We spin instead of 6 fire rod shots because we use 3 fire rod shots to light the torches in the room before. We only have 8 fire rod shots with full magic, so we only even have 5 that we could do there. Now, even if we did have extra magic going into the fight, it would still be faster to do a spin and 5 fire rod shots for 2 reasons. The first is, if one of them does get away from you, you can potentially clean it up with an extra fire rod shot. And 2, it would save refill frames on after beating the boss. Save 16 frames of magic refill.
I knew that too. I could have answered that.
Absolutely.
Meanwhile, we're heading into one of the coolest segments to watch in the run, the Misery Mire, making all of our runners so miserable.
Yeah, this is certainly a
Are we gonna see a Mire bomb jump today?
I don't know if either of them go for it. I also don't know if either of them... Okay, Doom is not going for it. He hits the switch. He's been playing too many no major glitches categories. He loses about 30 frames, I think, for hitting that switch, which is not ideal. These are the kind of mistakes that...
I mean, he's a Tales of Mana main now, so whatever. Don't think I don't see you signing on there on your Nintendo Switch Doomtap. More fun facts about Doomtap. Doomtap is annoyingly good at Mario Kart 8.
I don't know about that one.
Dow is also annoyingly good at Mario Kart 8. I am really bad at Mario Kart 8.
But yeah, so now that we have the Mire Big Key, we're going to use this to grab the hookshot.
But Dow, the hookshot's not in this dungeon.
Well, that's true. And the Mire Big Key doesn't actually open the Swamp Big Chest. Unless we trick the game into thinking we're still in Mire when we're actually in Swamp. Which is what we're going to try to do right here. So once again, we're going to use some explosives, and rather than blow up the wall, which would make the most sense, we're going to blow up ourselves to get into Hera right here. And then we're going to do the same thing again, and that's going to put us in... Oh, Doom is going to sword clip this. That was pretty good.
That was actually pretty good, yeah. Saves the frames by hugging that wall.
And yet, now that we're in Swamp, the game still thinks we're in Mire, so when we mirror here, we will get brought back to the dungeon entrance of Mire, and we'll additionally...
We're about to see Too Mire, Too Furious. Let's see how Doom does. Luckily, with that full health, it shouldn't be too bad. Very, very nice.
Yeah, so we're getting ready to finish Mire here, which is pretty great stuff. And honestly, one of the nicest things about equipping to Hera is you saw the fairy refill, which kind of keeps you pretty healthy for this dungeon going into the boss. We are going to want to intentionally take 5 hearts of damage. You can get away with 4. Sometimes you get 6. It just depends exactly on your movement there. But it will be a lot of intentional damage at the end of this dungeon.
Alright, Dow. This is just a fun question now. If you could have any item from any Legend of Zelda game in real life and it worked how it worked in the game, what would you want?
I've always been a big fan of the hook shots. Just pick any hook shot in any Zelda game. I don't know if that's the most useful thing, but honestly, as a kind of meme answer, but not really, the double claw shot from Twilight Princess, because Why have one hook shot when you could have two?
I will send some good vibes for the joints of your shoulder. I can't remember who I asked that to once, but they said bow and arrow. I was like, you can just go buy a bow and arrow. They were like, yeah, and I want one. I was like, okay.
Alright, that was a pretty good video fight from Doom there. Chex making up a little bit of time as he gets, his spooky action glitch first try instead of having to wait a little bit, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, the spooky in this category has been difficult to pull off for a lot of people in this tournament. Partially because it's very hard.
It does require an item dash, which is pressing two buttons at the same time. And you have to also kind of time this item dash so that your fire rod shot hits the anti-fairy. So in addition to having to do, a frame perfect trick, you have to do it at the correct time.
Pressing two buttons at once is very hard.
And now we're going to head to Swamp. Rather than Mirror, which is pretty slow, we're just going to walk over this mountain right here. That was pretty good boots clips from Doom. Your goal is always beat that fireball, which he did easily, which is pretty much as fast as you can do it. And then, hey, we're right here. Welcome to Swamp. Chex also with pretty solid boots clips there. Chex actually did gold his Meyer segment, which is pretty nice stuff. Chex's Meyer gold is certainly not bad to begin with. And we are going to see, since we don't have we already have the hook shot, we're not going to see much of this dungeon. And with the new trick, we're actually going to see even less of it. I'm going to save, I forget exactly how much time. It's more time than you think. I think it's like 8 seconds or something. We're going to grab this small key right here, which is not really feasible to get if you don't have the hook shot. And then here we're going to head over to the right here, go down these stairs, and kind of walk on water a little bit here. We're going to use the Cane of Samaria to kind of allow us to clip into this wall. It does require a couple of frame perfect input, or one rather. Down input has to be for exactly one, otherwise you have to reset it. Yep, and that allows us to kind of clip through the rail, get in the water, and get through that door, which is awesome. And now we're going to head to the boss, which has honestly one of the hardest quick kills in the game. Probably one of the most frustrating parts of this game when you don't get it, which is the Argus Zero Cycle. Doom, certainly good enough to get it. Sometimes the game doesn't cooperate. So let's take a look and see how he does. It's a little bit interesting.
Very nice. Let's see, I know Chex usually goes for it as well.
Getting beat up a little bit by these water striders. It's hard to tell, but they're actually moving before you can see them, and so it's really hard to deal with sometimes. But
Ooh, gets bullied out of that 0 cycle on Chex's side. Empty
Yeah, that's
cycle.
one of the most frustrating things.
Yeah, it happens. But with both runners in the crystal cutscene at the same time, Dow, what's your favorite flavor of milkshake?
Chocolate's good. Pretty plain. It's nice.
Okay, not bad. Not bad. We will see how well this Ice Palace mirror wrap goes. Everyone knows it stresses me out.
Another set of frame perfect niveaus here. Okay. Okay. Second try there.
Yeah.
Just fine.
Anytime they have to do a second try, it freaks me out. Ice Palace, notoriously the shortest split in the game, so don't blink or you'll miss it.
It's only
If
a
you
little
actually-
over 3 minutes. And
If you actually
50
attempt
seconds.
to not- Yeah. Please actually blink. You can't sue me if you don't. Chex unfortunately spawning that B, but gets the mirror wrap actually very well.
Yeah, and if you accidentally transition and miss the mirror up there, you actually lose a lot more time than it seems like. Doing with a pretty solid, another, I guess, Mario clip. That was a really good menu from
Yeah.
Chex. Getting bullied by these jellies, which is
Bullied hard.
not good because his bomb count is in a pretty rough situation now.
There is that extra one under the... Oh, he's in trouble.
There's one to the left here. He needs to use some Mario
Yeah.
block to get out. Or
Yeah, he realized it.
okay, nice. Please get this bomb. Okay, he does. Yeah, we do need at least one bomb leaving here. I'm sure Chex knows how to teleport into Ice Rod Cave.
Chex always
faster if you
teleports to
have
the
to.
Ice Rod Cave.
Okay.
So
So, yeah,
we
we
really
only
only
need
need this
one.
one bomb. Yeah. Good icebreaker, but that bomb issue is going to really cost him a little bit. Meanwhile, Doomtap heading into Cold Stare.
Nice fight.
Great poke dashes.
Yeah, the interesting thing about that fight is that double poke dash strat right there is actually the optimal strat. It's the fastest by about 10-15 frames. But in categories that get the Master Sword, it's the only strat that works. So you can tell when someone's played a Master Sword category basically by how proficient they are at that right there. Tempered kind of lets us destroy Cold Stare pretty easily here. I don't think Chex goes for double poke here. Yeah, just single poke there. Like I said,
Still gets
it's only about a 15 frame difference, but in Master Sword categories, it doesn't work at all.
You know, Dow, this is tournament time. Every frame matters.
Well, I mean, yes and no, right?
Doom heading
just-
through the treacherous swing.
You're just racing your opponent. So if they mess up, you get to mess up, right? It's nice. Good stuff.
I like how I meme and Dow's like, here's the actual logical explanation of this.
Doomtap messes up this
Nerd.
speed faster strat and just does it back up there, which is good.
Knowing your backups is very important, as we've learned.
And now we're headed to not the last dungeon, but what feels like the last dungeon. Turtle Rock here. I'm gonna clip into Hera one last time. And we're gonna do.
Tower, are we there yet?
Where? To Turtle Rock? We're close.
Are we there yet, Dow?
I don't think so.
Dow, are we there yet? Chex clipping right into the Ice Palace Cave. Ice Rod Cave? Ice Rod Cave. Derp. Ooh, a little issue with that mirror wrap. Okay, there we go. That looked a lot better.
But yeah, here, gonna come in through the
Dow,
back.
we're there.
We are.
See, very nice lasers. It always makes me happy when runners don't have to go through this part of Turtle Rock with 2 hearts, you know? Just warms that cold place that my heart used to be. I live a sad life.
Yeah, so on Chex's side here, not entering the dungeon with full health. Generally speaking, not too bad, but if something does happen, which we don't want it to happen, things in Turtle Rock hurt. 3-4 hearts are the typical damage values of enemy in this dungeon. Nice laser skip from Chex there.
Getting through that laser skip and getting past this mini Helma mini boss is gonna really keep us healthy.
Yep. And we do have a chance for a fairy drop in this dungeon, which can also keep you pretty healthy. However, in a lot of situations, we actually won't get it, or it'll be really slow to grab. So, Doomtap, who doesn't need it, gets it. And on Chex's side...
Chex probably won't get it, because that's how that works.
That's very much how this video game works.
Kyle, I'm not really quite sure what you're saying. This looks exactly like the game I know.
My casual playthrough of this game was exactly like this.
Fun fact, I did my casual playthrough in 1 hour and 23 minutes. Unfortunately, that hour and 23 minutes was the time it took me to get through Turtle Rock, Ganon's Tower, and Ganon.
So he gets the fairy, he's gonna opt to grab it. It's a little bit slow. Okay, he doesn't get lasered by the eye, I was a little nervous.
So was I.
He's aware of the tech to tap A. Doomtap going for a double poke dash on Trinex. Doesn't get it. Costs him a cycle. It's a bit of a meme strat. But it saves refill frames, so it's definitely worth it.
Meanwhile, Chex will be heading into his Trinex fight. And now this one's not going to be trivia for you. I'm just going to give you this hot fact about Trinex. Ready?
Okay.
Trinex is called Trinex because he has 3 necks.
Didn't know that.
Some people don't.
Maybe one day he'll be called Trinex because we'll have 3 poke dashes for this fight.
Oh, baby, don't tempt me.
And the devs would have known 30 years in advance.
Chex taking an unfortunate extra hit from that middle head. And unfortunately, since we won't be in a double crystal cutscene, I won't be able to ask Dow more questions about his food preferences.
So let's not talk about food. I haven't eaten dinner yet.
You know what? Actually, same. It's a sad mood.
Okay, so now we're heading into Ganon's Tower, which is definitely the last dungeon in the video game, right? I think we've done them all. I think.
I don't know about that, buddy. I think we're forgetting one.
Well, I might be forgetting one, but I wish I wasn't.
Same.
Yeah, we have successfully entered GT. It's actually faster, even though it doesn't really seem like it. But it is actually faster to do that rather than to kind of do the normal crystal cutscene entrance. Doom opting for this first key in torches. Definitely the safest of the 3 keys, which, considering we enter this dungeon on only 8 hearts, safety is pretty good, actually. But yeah, GT's pretty tough dungeon here, where it's a little bit scary coming in with only 8 hearts. Normally you come in with either 13 or 14, depending on how you approach the game. And it's pretty common to leave GT with anywhere from 2 to 5. So if we do the math there, that means we're taking 8+ hearts in this dungeon pretty regularly, actually. And here we have a maximum of 8 hearts when we start, so it can be a little bit scary because of that. Doom gets
opting to get those safety arrows as he drops into the Ice Armos fight.
So those arrows are actually faster than the ones after Ice Armor, but I don't think that's true with the with the strat that Doom did. I think when he does that strat, they're actually a tiny bit slower, so probably just for safety, but he didn't grab the extra arrows there.
Well, it was still a very nice Ice Armos fight, I will mention that. We're about to see how Chex does, since your leadership actually on that. Doom, however, opting to take a safer strat, save a few hearts through that spiky mimic peg room.
Chex with the slight mistake.
Chex, what you doing? Didn't Dow teach you better than this?
Saves it.
Saves it, but one for the.
But yeah, that's pretty good. Saving it there, actually really important for the Ganon fight. It will make sure his bats, or Ganon fire bats, are in a way we expect and in a way that's manageable. So really nice.
Very important. Now watch Chex do mimics too and talk to me about it. Slightly different than what I see normally.
Mimics 2 is one of the most difficult rooms in the game. Most people find an approach that works for them, is consistent, and then don't touch it ever again.
Doom, however, his G5 was a little sloppy. He wasted 2 arrows in there and hit nothing.
Well, at this point, the arrow count doesn't matter. He's done with using arrows for the rest of the run.
I think he thought he was on Fire Rod already.
No, I don't think so.
Well, then I'm just really dumb.
There is a strat there that utilizes the bow, and then kind of how you approach it after that depends on the runner. But it is kind of required in low percent legacy, which he's been running a fair bit recently.
Which he just dethroned you from, right? Got it.
Yeah, that one. Exactly.
Sorry, did I just push a little button?
No, because as we've mentioned, I think everybody's PB in that category is bad, and they just kind of gave up on it.
Ooh, Chex missing the cycle on land mode 2 Electric Boogaloo and having to do 1 extra spin.
He has actually been a pretty solid GT from Doom. He hasn't lost much health. 7 hearts here. You can still get a little bit bullied by Aghanim too, but that's not super likely. Solid Moldorm fight there.
You know, I've never seen anyone just dash straight up out of the doorway like Chex just did. I did not know that that was a safe pixel, or if he just got lucky.
There are no safe pixels. Some are more
Fair.
safe than others, but there are no safe pixels. Yeah, it's tough. So Aghanim 2 here, we're going to try to get 6 hits on him. We can only hit him by reflecting energy shots into him. So Doom opting for a damage boost on that cycle there. It's actually an interesting strategy. That's a good strategy whenever you kind of get really ugly patterns. Doom handles that pretty well. Those weren't the greatest patterns out there.
Yeah, he knows his way around a weird, mean wizard.
Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, we have not completed all of the dungeons, so we have to go fight out.
You said that there was... Dow lied to me.
Yeah. Well, we've not completed all of the dungeons here. Very unfortunate stuff.
Good
Aga Tower. The dungeon itself is pretty easy.
Good cycles on Chex's Aga 2 so far. I think he only needs one more hit because of one of the blue balls.
Okay.
And he gets it after getting bullied.
Yeah, when you get bullied like that, it is frustrating. But yeah, this dungeon is pretty easy. We're, once again, pretty over-equipped for the dungeon here. Unfortunately, the boss at the end, there's nothing we can do to speed up the boss, and
yeah,
it's to ruin
there's
our
about
day.
a minute between the runners right now. So
which is actually, you know, if you get exceptionally bad luck on Doomtap's side, and you get excellent luck on Chex's side, it's a tie game again.
Don't forget those warps.
Yeah, and it then depends on how Ganon behaves here, but it is, in my opinion, very frustrating for that.
Doom heading into our Aga 1 fight momentarily. Make sure to count for...
Yep.
Chex having a little bit of bullying in Foreman's basement.
Please don't do this, Aghanim. Like, please.
Oh my gosh.
You know, this boss, one of the most frustrating bosses, Doom expressing his frustration by trying to clip out of bounds.
Oh my goodness.
Okay,
Is this
well
real
now we're
life? Okay.
Okay, can't get 15 anymore. This is good news.
Can't get 15. That's good news. Even for me.
Yeah, so this boss, completely RNG, nothing you can do. Every time you get a blue ball, you lose 6 seconds. Doom is up to 7 right now, which means he's also losing an additional 2 lightning cycles, which is another 12 seconds on top of that.
Goodness gracious, there's an 8th. I think Chex had 1 at least.
Alright, so you hate to see it. And that's like a minute time loss on Doomtap's side.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, so the RNG is still not over. We have Ganon warps, and if Ganon warps enough, it's really bad. So we really don't want to see that. The first 2 phases of Ganon here, not random at all. We're expecting to get a 1 cycle in both of these. And so it looks like Doom's first phase was good. Second phase also looks good here. And this third phase is where the RNG is.
Takes it back to the face.
And then Chex looks like he's having a pretty good first 2 phases as well. Does excellent there. Okay, Ganon. Okay, he's done warping. We have 1 we have to get for this run right here, which is Torch Glitch. Missing this has cost about 40 seconds.
Ooh,
Doom gets it.
Goodness.
Excellent. And now he has 10 more spins to finish this fight off. And he can
He
get
just has
3
to
per...
not fall down.
Yes.
Which again, we have seen from certain people in this tournament.
Chex gets Torch Glitch. Excellent job, Chex. I think he needs 12 spins since he did not get an early one. Maybe I missed.
I didn't see an early one, so I'm with you.
Ooh.
Nice
Nice
blows
job.
up on Doomtap's side.
Chex should be finishing up his fight shortly.
Get your GGs in chat. Doomtap finishes with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 12 minutes, and 32 seconds.
That's a
Chex
fantastic.
blows up the pig. Typically, Doomtap doesn't come in for the post-match interview, but I assume we'll see him in chat at the very least. We'll see if we can get Chex in there. Remember to give your GGs, everybody. Put any questions you have in chat, and we'll make sure to try and get to them if they're appropriate. Here's looking at you, Yoho.
Chex finishes with another 112. Honestly, both those times are excellent. If you do just a regular, no reset run, you'd be extremely satisfied with either of these runs.
Was it only 7 Doom?
See, this is why I don't count, because I can't count that high.
I'm a musician. I just count to 4 over and over again.
Doom has confirmed he's not going to join us, but we should get Chex in a moment.
That's good. Either way, I can just meme a little bit. Oh, hey, there's nothing going on. Hey, Dow, what's your favorite ice cream?
Favorite ice cream? Ooh.
Yeah.
Chocolate chip cookie dough.
Okay. And with that beep, we are joined by Chexhuman. GG Chex.
GG.
Nice run.
So walk us through that run a little bit, particularly, where was, I think, was it ice that things got a little scary?
The whole run was scary. Ice was a bit of a slowdown, going from 26 to 46 behind, and a rough mire or ice too.
Yeah.
Honorable.
Honestly, though, you kept up pretty well. Had some great execution moments. How are you feeling about it?
I'm feeling pretty good. It was a 112, probably my 8th one.
Nice.
And
Consistency.
yeah, glad to do that during a tourney.
So now this does mean that you won't be continuing in the tourney, but can you tell us what you have planned? What categories are you going to continue grinding some AD? Do you have another run that you're planning on? Any fun things coming up?
Working on Swordless RBO right now. All Dungeons is TBD. I just yesterday during a run kind of felt a bit burned out on it, and just this run and last run just noted how rough RNG is on the run, on the speedrun, and just may feel like I'm repeating myself a bit too much right now, but it has been really fun to kind of grind it, and very, very fun to play in this tournament. So we'll see.
Yeah. We did have a question. RBO actually came up in the chat from Furaime, and not that this has anything to do with the AD tournament, but will your Swordless RBO run have Harapot, was the question.
Yeah, I think it's faster than Hera Elevator using EG.
Well, I think we can definitely look forward to that. Dow, do you have any other questions for our
No, I need you to keep, coming up with all these great categories you run, Chex.
Thank you.
Only
I
downside
thought
to
you
the
were going to
tournament.
say, I need you to keep coming up with good trivia questions, Anders. They're so good and fun.
I mean, the only problem with the tournament is that it kind of, pigeonholes people into doing a lot of all dungeons, even though we have so many different categories that everybody needs community loves to run. So it's nice that the tournament's kind of winding down and we're going to see a bit more new stuff again.
Yeah, and Doom, since you're in chat, if you're still with us, can you tell us, so you're going up against the winner of Zelda versus Josh RTA next. Any thoughts on that, or any thoughts on what you're going to be working on next? I know you've been talking about 100% NMG, but I can't quite remember if you've moved past that. I'm asking
what we want to see from Doom is low percent 3 HP.
Yes, please, Doom.
Ooh, yeah, true low. You know what
World
I really
record
want to
is
see from
3.
him?
Just finish the run.
Yeah.
I really want to see Doom do low lamp all dungeons. That's one of my favorite categories. I've only seen Chex is the only one who's ever run it, so.
With one completed run. So there will be more progress on that soon, just not immediately.
All right. Well, with that, I think you play Doom, the winner of Josh RTA versus Zelda. Okay, that's an answer.
Yeah, it is. Well, speaking of the future of this tournament, we do have a lot of Losers Bracket Round 4 action. It is the season for Losers Bracket Round 4 in this tournament. So Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern, we've got Louis and Thalane. And then Saturday at 9:01, as you mentioned earlier in the stream, 9:01 a.m. I'd love to hear the story behind that timing. But Josh RTA and Zelda, so that's when Doomtap's going to figure out his next opponent. And then on Sunday at 10 p.m., we've got Kaznode and Apathy Duck. So lots of Link to the Past action coming at you on ZSR. Do want to thank both our runners, Doomtap, and Chexhuman. Sorry about that. Lost my notes. All right, and Anders and Dal, of course, for commentating. Thank you guys. Did you want to say anything else before we go?
Just think. Chex is more important than Box.
I just want to thank everyone who's helped me through getting better at this category and the game. Like, I was learning from Doom just before the stream. That you can line up a shield, like the shield, with the center of Helmasaur. I didn't even realize that. And Dow for Ice Armos, which somehow I screwed up, but also somehow saved.
Hey,
I have no idea how
saved
either
it?
of those happened.
You saved it.
I don't know. And also Kyong92 for really pushing me, like, throughout my Zelda speedrunning career. So, thanks to all of you all out there.
Please make sure you follow these two runners, and also if you really enjoy this category, there's going to be more. And also follow Dow, because Dow does some amazing stuff with this game as well.
Yeah, and I just want to say thanks ZSR for having us. Always fun.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. I also want to mention we've got some stuff going on tomorrow. It's not Link to the Past, unfortunately. What is? But we've got a couple of streams, both at 3 p.m. tomorrow Eastern. Minish Cap Randomizer's got a loser's bracket match between Francois Harpy and Arrow Razor. And then if you're more into vanilla games, the Skyward Sword 80% Grand Finals are at 3 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. That's between KitKat and Lepalog, so be sure to tune in for that. Otherwise, I want to thank everybody that tuned in, everybody that made the stream happen, and we'll see you guys tomorrow on ZSR.